Now, what if I told you that you can drive some serious change from the comfort of your own home and pants are optional? In fact, most of my meetings with policy and decision makers, I was still wearing my pajama pants, no pants, gardening pants, and yes, gardening pants do actually have their own category in my house. I'll take a step back and I'm going to reintroduce myself so that I can make sense of all of this. My name is Ina Maria Tonescu, and I am a Director and Business Development Manager at Canadians for Responsible Food Policy. Yes, that is a mouthful. We are a nonpartisan political advocacy group, and we lobby the Canadian federal government to adopt plant-based food policies and plant-based food systems. Through systems that I've set in place using mostly my marketing experience and background, we've had great success meeting with members of parliament and developing allyships in government so that we can together work on adopting more plant-based food policies. Today, I want to speak to you about how you can get there and how we got there in the first place. Firstly, I want to start off by saying that we need system change. I was doing frontline activism and I very much dearly miss it for a while before I decided to do system change. Along my new form of activism, I saw how few people work on what can be seen as some pretty big and daunting problems. What I've also seen is how one person can make a difference with the right tools. And that's what I want to talk about today. So let's talk about the need for lobbying for a plant-based food system first. I don't need to delve into the immense climate anxiety that we all have. We are standing by, witnessing the planet's demise. All the while, we watch as our governments take tiny steps and sometimes backward steps in making change for the better. We see local farmers closing up shop, and we see animal agriculture subsidies go up. An estimated $8 billion, that's taxpayers' money, go towards subsidizing the Earth's and its inhabitants' destruction. We see that the dairy lobby, previously dubbed a cartel by the Harvard University, spends approximately $120 million on maintaining relationships in Ottawa. We feel like there is no fight. I felt that way, and I felt that way for a long time. And then I found CRFP. Since joining as a director, I've watched a group of about 9 people with a budget of about $4,000 to $20,000 at its highest do some pretty amazing things. We've had 3 of our policy recommendations get presented to the Agriculture and Agri-Food Department thanks to Food Secure Canada. In the last 6 months alone, we've reached 75,000 Canadians, educating them on what a sustainable agricultural plan should look like and what a biodiversity strategy should look like. We've had thousands take action and provide feedback and surveys to the federal government. We've also had our communications sent cross-departmentally after a wonderful conversation with the latest Receiver General. We were weeks away from meeting with the Minister of Agriculture, at their request, by the way, when the cabinet was reshuffled. And to be honest with you, I kind of thought that that was me and that was my fault, and they probably got a little too scared. We got a little too close. Now, how did we actually get into talking to MPs so easily? Firstly, we have got to learn more about them. And it's not just about, do they have a dog? It's about what color shirt are they wearing in most of the photos they have online. I want to learn what their favorite color is so that I can actually use that color in the presentations that I send to them. And I want to use that color when I actually meet with them. So if I saw an MP that was wearing purple in a lot of their photos, you bet I'm wearing purple. You bet I'm actually wearing purple jewelry, okay? Amethyst is really where it's at. Do they have family? Are they grandparents? We're going to address the need to address climate change by reminding them who they're going to be making changes for, their grandkids. One of the latest presentations that I had with the Receiver General, who was a grandmother, she just got reshuffled out too. In the last presentation, the slide was do it for them, and it was a bunch of children's photos. It's not for us, it's for them. And as a grandmother, she likely will kick into that. She did end up sending our presentation, by the way, to about 12 other ministers and MPs. What political party are they with? I use the Liberal font and color when I meet with Liberal MPs. I actually found their color by going online and finding a font finder. and then use their color by color picking on my screen. And I do that because I want them to see me as an ally. I don't want them to see me as CRFP. I want them to see me as an advisor to the Liberal government to make change. What sort of programs are the MPs involved in their ridings? Do they focus on BIPOC support? What I'll do is I'll move the slides on what I have about BIPOC and marginalized groups and how they're impacted by the negative effects of climate change. And I'll actually move those slides to the front of the presentation if that is something that I see that they focus on. We'll then look up the MP and find out how they voted on previous bills and what committees they've been on. One of our ally MPs had sat on the environmental committee, and we made sure to point that out in our presentation when we spoke to them. The more we dive into who they are, the less we lack that connection. We humans have a wonderful desire to connect with people, and we can use this to lobby for a plant-based food system. Now, I know the process can be long. Imagine my suffering when I found out that after a year and some of trying to lobby these MPs, getting the allyships, half of them were shuffled out of cabinet. Yes, I'm very sad about it, but we keep going. That battle wasn't meant to be the one that was won, but the next battle will be the one that we win. I'm gonna ask you to put your hands up. Who here has ever met with their member of parliament? Okay, it's actually quite impressive. Now, when I first began meeting and speaking with politicians, I was afraid of messing things up. I was shaking like I am right now, and I was afraid of making CRFP look foolish. But I learned a few things along the way, and I'd like to share them with you. This is from my marketing background, so you're gonna hear this often. It takes 18 touch points for someone to buy a product from a company. That's 18 times that someone needs to hear about, see, touch, and feel your product before they decide to purchase it. That's 18 times I'll try to get someone to buy into the idea of a plant-based food system before even attempting to move on. There's 338 ridings. That means I'll try 18 times with 338 MPs. A similar observation exists by getting followers on social media platforms. It's like pulling teeth. Even after they liked your post, they're still not going to follow you. I'll add to say that the system may look stacked against us, but Rome was not built in a day. Sometimes we must find the common ground before attempting to build. CRFP's modus operandi has changed to include only positive language. We don't take away, we add. We don't take away subsidies, we add fruit and vegetable vouchers, which is our first policy. We don't take away animal agriculture, we introduce incentivization for farmers to transition justly. Within 3 weeks of our official rebranding as CRFP, we already began opening doors we'd never opened before. But we cannot do it alone. Part of what I want you to walk away with today is the power to lobby your own MP. All of the items I've listed in my speech today are going to be made available to you through our future workshops on connecting with your MPs, something I will be personally leading. Now, for those of you who may have attended a past social media workshop with me, I promise, it is not the boot camp. I tend to teach a lot, but it's going to be much easier. These workshops are going to be happening once a month to start, and it's going to be doing check-ins and what's working and what's not, providing support to anyone looking to meet with their MPs, and if you're close by, I'll likely come with you if you'd like, and I'll give you the tips and tools to have a successful meeting no matter what. Even if it's a no, it's successful, I promise you. If you are interested, all you need to do is sign up on the website, and I'll send out an email when the workshops are happening. There's a yellow petition on the page that you can sign, and I will be sending out this information in the next newsletter. I hope to see more people exercising their power to have their elected officials answer to governmental actions and to have those same officials listen to their constituents' requests for a more plant-based food system. A last lesson before I let you go. You never know who is an ally in our movement. It's why we don't vilify anyone. Some of our biggest supporters are farmers looking to get out of animal agriculture. So let's help them do that. Let's amplify the voices of those most affected by animal agriculture, people, planet, and of course the animals involved. This is a social justice movement that is bound to get ahead. at least after those 18 touch points. Oh, and P.S. for workshops, pants are still optional and cameras can be off during the event. And folks, you can learn more about and participate in the current action against CBC's The Current podcast, a campaign on misinformation in the media. You can also connect with me there at responsiblefoodpolicy.ca or moreplantbased.ca, which goes to the exact same place. My name is Ina Maria Tonescu, and it has been an absolute pleasure to speak to you today, and thank you so much, Burlington VegFest, for allowing me to be here.